Let's go back to week 14 of 2021. The New England Patriots were sitting at the 1 seed and they had a 9-4 record, and this team was led by rookie quarterback Mac Jones, and he wasn't having a phenomenal rookie season, but he was having a pretty good rookie year, and he looked like the QB of the future for the New England Patriots, and it looked like sometime soon they could win a Super Bowl, and that was really scary and sad. Cut 3 years later, and the Mac Jones experiment completely failed, and he's now finding himself in a backup role in Jacksonville. So how did Mac Jones go from the face of the franchise to a backup quarterback in 2 years? Well, we have to go back to his days at Alabama, where he was sitting behind Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa in one of the greatest, most stacked QB rooms in college football history. However, in 2019, Tua would get hurt during the final last few games of the season, and Jalen Hurts had already transferred to Oklahoma, so Mac Jones would start the rest of the season, and he wasn't doing too bad. He wasn't Tua by any means, but again, he wasn't too bad, and he got them a few wins. However, they would lose to Auburn in the Iron Bowl, and they wouldn't have made the college football playoff anyway, but they were relegated to the Citrus Bowl, and to this day, it is the only time in the college football playoff era that Bama did not make a New Year's Six game. However, in the Citrus Bowl that year, Mac Jones would foreshadow what he would do in 2020, and he went off going for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and they beat Michigan 35-16. I say that Citrus Bowl was foreshadowing of 2020 because in 2020, in a 13-game shortened season, Mac Jones would have one of the best seasons by an Alabama quarterback of all time, as he would throw for 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions, and he'd finish third in Heisman voting. And I say 13 games, they played 11 games in the regular season and 2 playoff games. Mac Jones was a huge reason why his teammate Devontae Smith became the first Heisman winner to be a wide receiver since 1991. And to end off this dominant season, Alabama would smoke Ohio State in the title game 52-24, and honestly, if it weren't for this shortened season, Alabama might have been the best team of all time, but we have 2019 LSU. After this historic season, Mac Jones' draft stock rose to a first-round pick, but he was going to be a part of what was supposed to be one of the greatest QB draft classes of all time, with Trevor Lawrence, who was undoubtedly the number 1 overall pick, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields. So it was going to be difficult. But at pick 15, a Patriots team that was in desperate need of a quarterback after Tom Brady left and the Cam Newton experiment didn't work, decided to pick Mac Jones, and, well, it looked like he could maybe bring the Patriots back to relevance and maybe be the quarterback for the future. Now, in terms of his rookie season, a lot of people thought Mac Jones was going to be alright. Some even thought he was going to do bad, especially since in the quarterback draft class, he had guys like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, but no one was expecting him to be the best quarterback from his draft class in his rookie season, and that's exactly what happened. In 2021, Mac Jones took the NFL by storm, him and the Patriots, and he was easily the best rookie quarterback this season, as he threw for a little under 4,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And the Patriots, they were expected to have 7-8 wins. Well, they ended up making the playoffs in a very stacked AFC, and he would finish second in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting. In fact, entering Week 14, the Patriots were 9-4 and sat at the top of the AFC, which was the most shocking part of the whole NFL season, and they were just coming off a 7-game winning streak, but this would be the first big red flag in the career of Mac Jones. Following their bye week, the last 4 games for Mac Jones and the Patriots just wasn't good, as Mac Jones would have a touchdown to interception ratio of 6-5, and that game against the Jaguars on January 2nd, where he threw 3 touchdowns and they won 50-10, really masked how bad the stretch was, as if it weren't for that game, they would go 0-3, and Mac Jones would have a touchdown to interception ratio of 3-5, and they'd go 1-3 during the stretch, and these 4 games would single-handedly blow not just the number 1 seed, but the AFC East title. After this Monday Night Football game in Week 13, the Patriots kind of fell apart, and the Bills did the complete opposite. They caught fire, and the Bills ended up taking the AFC East from the Patriots, and that's the biggest red flag from the season, and it came very late in the season. So that's not really a good look. But funny enough, the Patriots are going to be playing against the Bills in the wild card round, and even though they're traveling to Buffalo, which makes it a lot harder, the Patriots have a chance to completely flip the narrative for this season and 2020, as they can prove to the world that they are the better AFC East team. Or you could completely fall under pressure and get blown out 47-17, and the narrative being that the Bills got revenge on the Patriots after all those years of Tom Brady dominating the AFC East, and now it was the Bills division to lose. And that photo you see right there, that came from the Patriots' first drive of the game, where they threw it to the end zone and it looked like it had a pretty good chance of being a touchdown, but Micah Hyde came in out of nowhere and picked it off, and that was pretty much game from there. Mac Jones did not help the case either. He was a part of the problem. He threw for 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and only 232 yards, and he had a QBR of 60. So that was a disappointing end to the season, but the future was looking a little bright with Mac Jones as the quarterback, and a lot of experts had the Patriots in 2022 finishing around the same win mark, 8 to 10 wins, and people thought Mac Jones would continue to get better possibly. However, that 7-game winning streak, that 9-4 start, that was the peak of Mac Jones' NFL career, and it was only going to go downhill from there. I mean, from those final few games, it was already going downhill. I don't think a lot of people kind of saw that at the time, but 2022 would only get worse. I forgot to mention this, so this is on me, but the main reason the Patriots were good in 2021 was that defense, as they had the second best defense in the NFL. Well, cut to 2022, and they're still not bad, but they did regress a little bit, falling down to 11. So that happened, but that wasn't near as bad of a regression that Mac Jones had, and oh boy, this was a train wreck of a season. First off, the stats show for itself. It was a rough year, not even 3,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. That's a horrible touchdown-interception ratio, and he only started 14 games, and he went 6-8. Now in week 3, Mac Jones would get injured, and this was his reaction. From the way Mac Jones reacted, he was screaming and everything, you must have thought, man, this must be pretty serious, maybe season ending. Well, this was only a 3-game injury, and while injuries do suck, this was an overreaction, and this does look kind of embarrassing. But during his 3-game absence, rookie quarterback Bailey Zappi would step in, and he didn't do too bad, little under 600 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and only 1 loss, and it's not good enough to overtake Mac Jones, but hey, not bad. But in Mac Jones' first game back, he would take the start against the Bears on Monday Night Football, and he was just downright horrible. On the first drive, he went 3 for 6, 13 yards, and threw an interception, and he was benched for Bailey Zappi, and in his first drive, he'd kept the drive off with a 30-yard touchdown, and in that moment, it looked like Mac Jones might have lost his starting spot to Bailey Zappi. It looked like Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady, but obviously we know that that's not the case. Thankfully for Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi would not have a good game after that, as he had only thrown for 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and that was the opening drive touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So for now, Mac Jones' starting job, it was safe. Besides the injury and getting benched and the terrible ball, there was this play which really honestly wasn't all Mac Jones' fault. It was a terrible play call, and then this just happened to happen, and this was to win the game for the Raiders too. And I'm not going to show it here on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet or you want to see it again, go look it up, just Mac Jones, or I don't even know, actually I have no idea, but you will find it. Now 2022 was pretty bad. Big step back from his rookie season. He looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, but 2023 was somehow going to get even worse. Mac Jones was the worst quarterback in the NFL in 2023, as he only started 11 games, mainly because he kept on getting benched for Bailey Zappi, who Bailey Zappi wasn't doing good either. Mac Jones threw for just 2,120 yards, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, as he somehow got worse from the year prior. And not only that, but the defensive side of the ball also had a ton of injuries. This year for the Patriots was one of the worst seasons ever. Way before Tom Brady, way before Drew Bledsoe. This was one of the worst ever. After this season, the Patriots decided to go into a full rebuild. Mac Jones was traded to the Jaguars, where he instantly got plus 100 aura. He looks way cooler now. And they decided to fire Bill Belichick, who had been with the Patriots for the whole millennium. In Mac Jones' defense, his downfall and the reason he failed in New England isn't entirely his fault. His best receiver during this time was Jacoby Myers, who didn't even reach 900 yards during his time, man. If you remember back in 2021, he didn't even get his first touchdown of the season until like game 11 or 12. And oh yeah, Jacoby Myers left for the Raiders in 2023, so the best receiver on the team was rookie Demario Douglas, who, I mean, look at those stats. That's just horrible. Mac Jones, that's not your fault. Also, a mix of bad drafting and honestly bad coaching from Belichick. It just wasn't a favorable situation for Mac Jones. He obviously could have been better, but it just wasn't a good situation. So, that's the downfall of Mac Jones. From his rookie year, he showed promise to now being a backup quarterback, and that's about it. Bye.